Hey guys, it's your host JC. Welcome to Queries of a Newborn Christian, the podcast where my faith is new, my questions are endless, and my curiosity could be considered my spiritual gift. Think of this podcast as Christianity 101, but with more laughs, constant detours, and a lot of confusion on my end. Grab your drink and come join me as I grow in my walk with Jesus.
Oh my gosh, I can tell you a funny story, but it's not about the boys.
Is it
It's
what we
about-
discovered yesterday? Or is this different?
What did we discover yesterday?
That they stole your toilets?
Oh, no, okay. So I do know for sure. I have new toilets. I do know that for sure.
I still
because
haven't told my husband. I keep forgetting that they stole your toilets.
They changed out our potties.
Yeah.
So,
you were
yeah,
like, I think they stole my potty. I was like, what?
So, okay. I mean, I guess you could use that as the funny story. Because, okay, so we had plumbing work done and they were supposed to change out the sewer line. And then the house was just covered. Like they tried to clean it. So I'm giving props, right? Because they did. Like you can tell they put forth effort and it's just hard to clean. There's concrete dust everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, you came over and helped clean. And even this
such
morning,
a good daughter-in-law.
you are. And I have this towel on the floor. So when I go to there's just certain areas of the house that have like tile or hardwood. And so I have this towel down and I just put my feet on the towel and I just scoot across them all to just continually try to dust the floor because I feel like we can do it and then we could even mop, but then come back and it'd still be stuff on the floor because it just stirs it all up. Anyways, it's going to take a while to get all that mess out. So anyway, went into the bathroom and I was like, I think they stole our potties. Well, I just saw one. And so this is the process. I was like, I think they stole our potty in our bathroom. I don't think that's the right one. I'm going to stand next to it because the toilets in both of the bathrooms in my house were really tall.
Mm-hmm.
Like significantly taller than regular toilets, I feel like. Maybe not like handicap tall toilets, but they were tall toilets.
Yeah.
So I stood next to it and I was like, okay, here's where it measures on my shin. And then I went to the other bathroom and I was like, oh, this one looks the same. Like, it looks like it measures the same. Did they steal both of our potties? And so this morning I got up and I was like, first thing you do, right? You go into the bathroom.
Did you fall onto the toilet because you missed?
Oh, that'd be really
Your body
funny.
just misremembered how far down the toilet is now. It's not as tall. You just fell.
That would have been so good. Man, maybe that should be the story, even though it wouldn't be true.
This morning I fell onto my toilet because it wasn't as tall as I remembered.
No, but I sat down and I was like, hey, my feet don't dangle on the toilet anymore. Because the toilets are so tall and my legs are short. So my feet would be like, and they don't do that anymore. So they definitely stole our potties and gave us squatty potties.
I don't know. I haven't confirmed that for myself. I didn't use the bathroom while I was at y'all's house yesterday cleaning. I just saw, toilet. There's a toilet there. We're good.
But there's also stickers on there. I was like, why are there stickers on the toilet?
But I don't pay that much attention to your toilet. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely took the toilets and put new ones in.
I mean, good for you. Maybe not good for your husband.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I never asked him about his experience sitting on the toilet. I'll have to ask him. Do you feel like your knees are under your armpits when you sit on the potty now?
Are you sitting on the boys' little potty they have in our house?
It probably feels like it.
Yeah. Your knees are like in your ears.
Okay, and on cold mornings, I
Where is
lift
this going?
I lift my feet up off the tile because I don't want my feet to be cold on the
I'm
cold
sorry.
tile.
You're admitting to
Hey,
the general public that in the morning when you have to go pee.
Mm-hmm. I lift my feet up so they're just like dangling off the toilet while I go to the bathroom because the floor's cold. But I could because the toilet was so high. And now I can't do that anymore because,
Why would you do that? Why not just put on socks?
Yeah.
You're where he gets it from. You're where my husband gets his weirdness. Why would you not just put on socks or house shoes? Why would you lift your feet up?
Well, that's quite a process to put on socks, and I can just lift my feet up.
Whatever.
We should probably dive into this chapter and move on past my squatty potties.
Okay. All right. So today we're covering chapter 9 in the book of John. I don't know.
If you haven't read it.
Yeah, if you haven't read it, go ahead and pause it, read it. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on squatty potties. Okay. How am I supposed to get back on track now that you told me you lift your feet up when you go pee in the morning?
I don't do it every morning. It's just when it's cold outside.
That's weird. Like, do you lift them up to the front or to the back?
No, they just if your feet are on the floor, then you just go and lift them up. It's not like I'm like straight out in front of me. That would be weird.
That's what I was picturing. You're like a starfish.
No.
But you have to hold on to the toilet seat to lift your legs. Or your bathroom's small, so you're bracing.
No. So the toilet was so high that my feet didn't really go flat.
I know.
So it's like this. That's all it is.
That's not what I was imagining.
Man, you're extreme.
We know that I have an imagination.
Over my head, behind my ears, and just
I'm sure your husband would love
that. Could you imagine trying to pee like that? No, that's not going to happen.
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
He can edit that part out.
Can we? We can. I can. I don't know if I will.
Oh, that's awesome.
I might not.
I mean, we were past the squatty potty discussion. You're just not.
Anyway.
Okay.
All right. So, we're starting chapter 9 of the Gospel of John today. And if you haven't read chapter 9 yet, go ahead and read it. It's only, I think, 41 verses. It's pretty short. But last week, we went over, obviously, chronological order, chapter 8, where Jesus kind of saved the woman condemned of adultery or whatever. Mm-hmm. Kept them from stoning the Pharisees and stuff from stoning her. And then he gave his second I am statement, which was, I am the light of the world. And they just continued to question him because, it's just round and round. Mm-hmm. That's what happens in this book. Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready. Yep, okay. I'm excited. I taught this to a group of ladies in Georgia. When was it? It was, I don't know, a year ago? No, it wasn't quite that long ago. But anyways, so I had all these notes and I went back through them and I was like, oh yeah, this is a good one. All right.
Okay. All right, starting with verse 1. As he was passing by, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Neither this man nor his parents sinned, Jesus answered. This came about so God's works might be displayed in him. We must do the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. After he said these things, he spit on the ground, made some mud from the saliva, and spread the mud on his eyes. Go, he told him, wash in the pool of Siloam? Siloam?
Siloam.
Siloam?
Mhm.
Which means sent. So he left, washed, and came back seeing.
Okay, we can stop there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So if we go back to the last verse of chapter 8, verse 59, so they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus was hidden and went out of the temple. And then the first verse of chapter 9 is, as he was passing by, he saw a man. And I'm like, okay, is this like right after leaving the temple? Or is this
it
like
says,
some time later as he was passing by, he saw a man blind from birth? Like, I'm just curious.
I read it as this happened and now as he was passing by. I guess it could be a different time.
Mm-hmm.
But I read it as they left there and they were trying to stone him.
Mm-hmm.
But he went out, he left the complex, and then as he was passing by, and then what I love about this is if it is, they were trying to stone him, and then he's just casually passing by. There's no anxiousness. He's not in a hurry.
It's like we said last week, he, not struts, he swaggers. He has swagger.
Because, it's not his time, and he knows it. So nothing's going to happen to him yet. So he's just walking along.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was wondering, how does he know that he was blind from birth? Like, how, unless that was details they didn't quite figure out. Well, no, they had to know. They had to know because in verse 2, they say, his disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? So they had to know prior to that he was born blind, unless they're missing words that were spoken.
And there might have been. There's definitely things that happen, conversations outside of what we actually, get to read. We get the gist of everything. And I don't want it to be like, oh, everything we get is summary. Everything we get is what we need to know.
Mm-hmm.
We have all the important stuff, and yes, there's probably peripheral information, but we have to trust that that's not going to increase or decrease from what's being shared, the gist of the story or the gist of this account and what Jesus is trying to teach.
Right. So, but bottom line, this man was born blind.
Yes.
From the very beginning, his eyes did not work.
Yeah. What I love about this, which is 5 words in, it says, he saw a man blind from birth. So imagine Jesus is walking along and his attention is drawn to this guy. Because it wasn't like when it says he saw him, he didn't glance at him. He didn't pass by and notice on his peripheral. It says he saw. And there's a difference between that. And so whatever it is, the way that Jesus's attention is drawn to him, it then takes the disciples' attention and moves their attention to him as well. So if Jesus is stopping to look at this man and he's noticing him, he's seeing him fully, not just glancing. Now the disciples are looking at him and they turn back to Jesus, and that's when they ask this question. Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And you have a question about that.
Yes. So I think we kind of talked about it when we did this class year and a half ago, whatever. That I'm assuming there was an I'm assuming there was an assumption that if you sinned or your parents sinned, like these physical ailments were due to sin,
Yes. That's
not
what they
just like
believed.
it was just a genetic mishap.
Right.
Because obviously they didn't really understand. I mean, I'm sure Jesus did. How wild would that be? He's like, your DNA. And they're like, what? What's
Yeah.
DNA? But they assume, point being, they assume that physical ailments were due to sin. Which is
Yes.
wild because, like, they're asking, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Well, if it was due to sin, it had to be his parents. The baby wasn't even born yet.
Right?
How is the baby sinning? He haven't been born. How's a 1-day-old baby sinning?
Yeah.
He's just a baby.
Yeah. So this is the question that they're asking. And I think, when you look at, so you try to build a picture in your mind of what's happening here. I will say this is what I do. So I'm trying to build this picture in my mind of, here's this man sitting on the side of the whatever road, I don't know, and then Jesus, he's within line sight of him. So then I'm going to assume he can probably be heard by him. And you know how, as like little kids make awkward statements that make you feel so like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. They're just a kid. They don't know what they're saying. Yeah.
So I feel like I have to explain that real quick.
Yes.
Was it like 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Almost
it was
a little over under 2 years, a little under 2 years ago. The little one was like 2 months old. We went to the beach for a family reunion, and at this time, my oldest was like 2.5, and he had this weird obsession with lawnmowers.
Oh,
And we
love them.
saw, yes, loves them, still loves them. They both do. But we were out on the beach, and we saw this person going by on like a beach wheelchair with big giant like aired up tires instead of normal tires, and he's just screaming at the top of his lungs, pointing the whole way, lawnmower, and we're like, shh, stop it, stop it. And we would like push his hand down, and he would move to the other side of us and continue screaming, lawnmower, lawnmower. It was the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever lived through.
And I'm trying to like stand in front of him. No, it's
No.
okay.
He's determined. Yeah. He is determined that everybody sees that lawnmower on the beach right over there. And this poor person is just trying to live their life and enjoy the beach the best way they can. And my child's like, lawnmower!
And so here we have this man.
Yep.
He's a man. He's grown up. He's had this ailment his whole life. He's sitting there. And now here are these grown men that he doesn't know.
Lawnmowering him.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, so who sinned that this could happen? And they're not saying it sarcastically like I just said it, I don't think. I think they're truly wanting to know. Mm-hmm. If he was born blind, then who sinned? Because they have been taught that an ailment is the result of a sin.
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody had to sin, but it doesn't make sense because, like you said, if he's a brand new baby, how could he sin? Right. So it had to be his parents. So or did his parents sin? Mm-hmm. And so this is what the disciples are asking: who sinned? Mm-hmm. And now an important piece to notice is they never asked, "How can we help him? Is he okay? Is there anything that we can do for him? What does he need?" Because they see Jesus looking at him.
Well, that's where you go back to what you were saying. Like, it doesn't give us the whole conversation. They might have.
They may have.
Or they were just like, well, Jesus is here. Jesus can handle this situation.
Yeah. And the heart of the out of the mouth is the overflow of the heart, right? Like whatever, the things that come out of us is like what's in your heart. Mm-hmm. And for them, they want to learn. So we're going to give them, some grace here. Jesus is here and we want to know all the things. If this is what we've been taught, being good Jews, that sin causes ailments, their sin must have happened. So we want to know about that. Yeah, maybe we'll get to the point of, we can throw them a little bit of money, later on, or buy them a sandwich, I don't know. But at this point, that's their top concern. Mm-hmm.
Well, so they ask him, who sinned? And Jesus answered, neither this man nor his parents sinned. Jesus answered, this came about so that God's works might be displayed in him. And I just had this gut reaction when I read this where I was like, okay, cool. He didn't do anything wrong. His parents didn't do anything wrong to like deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
How irritating.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not the right approach, but when I was reading this, I was like, I would be so mad. Like, let's say this man's my age. He's 29. Ugh. What? 29. Okay. Anyway.
Hey, I was trying to help you out, but
well, let's just say he's my age. Like, he's a grown adult.
yeah.
But if I had been blind this whole time, just like stuck begging on the side of the road, this whole 29 years of my existence, like obviously you didn't as a kid, but still. And Jesus goes on to say, this came about so God's works might be displayed in him. I would honestly be a little miffed. Be like, excuse me, I've had to live all this time with no sight to do this. And then I was like, if I was healed by Jesus, it would probably be worth it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, how irritating.
Mm-hmm.
But, like both sides. When I was reading it, my first reaction was like, I would be mad.
Yeah.
If I heard someone say that.
When you see the full picture, right? That's where you can see the beginning and the end, and you think, like, man, he went through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And this was all because, what Jesus says, that the works of God might be displayed in him. And it's like, he didn't have a choice in the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this thing just happened to him, and he didn't have a choice, and he had to live this way, and he had to be this way. And, well, too bad. But do we want to believe that God is sovereign in all things? And, I can look at things in my life and I can go, why did I have to go through that?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I have to do that? Why did it have to be that way? Why did somebody have to sin in that way and harm me when I didn't do anything wrong?
Mm-hmm.
But yet, am I willing to offer up whatever I need to offer up for God's glory?
Mm. Don't convict me like that.
And I openly talk about, I had a TBI, have, deal with, am healed from, I don't know. There's still things that happen, that my brain doesn't work right sometimes. But I'm so much better from where I was. But in that process, I was just driving and I got hit.
Mm-hmm.
And, there were a lot of things I had to go through and whatever. That's not the important part. But in the end, if that is what needed to happen so that I have the opportunity to speak about God to a different audience, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. I'm realizing I never really asked you, or like, I guess, testimony, like what your story was on finding Jesus. We don't have to do it now, but I don't think I've ever actually asked you that.
Yeah, that's a long story.
Yeah, we can talk about that a different day.
Yeah, we can do that sometime. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I just realized, I think I've thought about it before, but I was like, I'm me and I get distracted. I'm like, whoa, squirrel.
Yeah,
So
just like right now.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
No, and I get that. And that's where like my brain was kind of processing it as I was reading. But again, I was like, oh, I'd be angry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't appreciate that, I don't think. But anyway. So he keeps going. We must do the works of him who sent me, meaning God. Must do God's work who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And I was a little bit confused. Like, it's currently daytime right now while they're talking, and it's about to be nighttime and they can't do anything? Or is this like metaphorically?
Yeah,
Night is
it's
coming.
more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, I mean, if Jesus says I'm the light of the world, and like, so the light is here.
Oh, okay. So like once I'm gone.
Yeah, night's coming. Now the Spirit's coming. We have the Spirit present with us, but I mean, if he's the light of the world, it is daytime right now. I am the light of the world. I am here.
So
but
is it
night
nighttime
is
right
coming.
now?
It can be for some people. I mean, the world is a very, very dark place.
For sure.
And that just takes opening up Facebook. I don't know what you see on Snapchat because I don't do the Snapchat
I
thing.
deleted Snapchat years ago.
And I don't know, do you see stuff like that on TikTok? I don't know. I don't know. But there's
I barely
bad stuff.
use TikTok. It's
Really?
mostly making sure I'm doing workouts right. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. Social
or cleaning
media.
videos. I have a weird thing with cleaning videos. It's very satisfying. So when I was at your house cleaning yesterday, and like I know the dust is going away, but I can't see it. That was kind of irritating.
Yeah.
I like the transformation.
Yeah.
So, and your vacuum cut my finger.
Oh, I'll call you when my house is very dirty.
No, that's okay.
So that
I have my own house to deep clean right now before we get ready to move out. It's fine.
Okay, moving along.
So after he said these things, he spit on the ground, made some mud from the saliva, and he, meaning Jesus. Jesus spit on the ground, made some mud from the dirt and his saliva, his spit, and spread the mud on the blind man's eyes. And then he tells him, so this man has gunky goop, gunky monkey mud, whatever you want to call it, on his eyes. And he can't see. He couldn't see to begin with. He's got it on his eyes. He can't open his eyes. Because
right.
I think a lot of the times, like, blind people, they either have they're depicted in Hollywood as having a covering over their eyes, or their eyes are open and they're just, like, staring blankly around them because their eyeballs don't work. But point being, like, his eyes are closed because he's got mud on them. And then Jesus tells him to go and wash in this pool that I'm not going to attempt to pronounce again because I don't know how to pronounce it. But the name of the pool means sent. And so he left, the blind man left, washed, and then came back, and he was able to see.
It's so crazy. There's so much right here. Because first thing I want to point out is, notice Jesus never talked to the man.
That
he never said, do you want to be healed? Do you, hey, tell me about being blind? Like, he never said anything to him. He just...
Oh, I see what you're saying. He just, like, walked up, spit on the ground.
Yep.
And this man suddenly had mud being put on his face, and he was probably at first kind of like, what are you doing? Why?
Oh, could you imagine? So, and this, when I've taught on this, when I teach on this, I can like use my hands and, make it more like
interactive.
Yes.
This is one of those moments we need video.
Although
you don't want to see the mess going on in my background right now. It's just dirty clothes. Well, it's not dirty clothes. They're clean clothes. I just didn't fold.
Yeah. But if you can picture, because remember I was talking about having, creating pictures in your mind. This man is sitting here blind. These people are having a conversation. We don't know if he can hear them or not, but I'm going to assume he can hear some things.
I mean, I kind of assume they're standing right in front of him.
And then all of a sudden he hears spit.
Which he probably thinks of it the same way we would. It's like, that's insulting. Don't spit at me.
He's probably been spit at before. So I'm imagining he flinches when he hears spit happening because he's waiting for it to land on him. Because he's probably, it might be very normal for him. And so he's probably flinching, not, usually the sense of hearing is heightened. You have a sense that is heightened whenever you lose a sense. And so your eyes, you can't see so often, your hearing is better. So, maybe he can hear the direction that this is coming. And I just imagine him flinching away from. And then he hears, so he didn't feel anything, but now he hears something happening in the dirt. Once again, he has no idea. Nobody said anything to him. And then he feels warm, slimy, gooky stuff being put on his face. And nobody said anything. And so I just imagine him kind of trying to pull away as Jesus is putting this mud on his face.
Uh-huh.
And then the next thing he's told, the first thing that is said to him is, go wash in the pool of Siloam. That's the only thing Jesus says to him. Now, I want to go back to Genesis. I know, it's your favorite when I do this, and I do it almost every week.
I have nothing against Genesis. It's just always Genesis.
I know it is, but it's the foundation. Like, this is where God did all the things. But,
Mhm.
I mean, I want you to think about when God created Adam, how did he create him?
Oh, dirt.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, can I just go back real quick and have my squirrel moment?
Yep.
How much spit?
I know.
What kind of loogie is he able to hawk to have enough spit to make that much mud?
I thought the same thing.
Or did
Yeah.
he like take a drink of water and then spit it? I'm
Yeah.
like, that is, or is he like, how much spit does Jesus
know.
produce?
Right? I don't know, but there is enough spit.
That is a massive loogie.
All we know is it was spit.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So if you go back to Genesis where it talks about God creating man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find the exact verse. So chapter 2, verse 7, then the Lord God, this is Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, then the Lord God formed the man out of the dust from the ground and breathed the breath of life into his nostrils, and the man became a living being.
Mm-hmm.
So what I love about this is we don't know the ailment that he was born with that caused his eyes not to be able to see, to not have vision. He's never seen anything before, so he doesn't have anything to compare anything to. He is missing something. Something is not working right. So the same material that God used in the beginning to create man, Jesus takes that same material and applies it to the man's eyes. And I just love that.
Meaning you think he used this material to like seep in and fix whatever. It wasn't more of like a...
So many times Jesus says, your faith has healed you. And this is a time when he doesn't just say your faith has healed you. You know, you go and sin no more. Like, you know, we talked about the guy at the pool who, you know, had something happened and he's had this ailment for a while, and he tells him, you're healed, pick up your mat and walk. And here he's not addressing a sin at this moment. He's talking about from creation, from the point of this man's being knitted together in his mother's womb. That point of this man's creation, something went awry. And so he's taking creation material and he is using it to fix creation. And I just love that.
Yeah.
So it's not anything about the man.
I'm just going to say, like, you know, he left wherever it was that he was sitting. He washed his face and he came back seeing, which means he washed the dirt from his eyes. And the first thing he saw was whatever this little pool is. The first thing wasn't Jesus.
Right.
And I do think this is shown in The Chosen in the latest season, I think. But I think they wash his face off there. Like it's changed a little bit. But they do have this man in there because, like, I remember the parents come in and they start arguing and like whatever. But this one's a little bit, from my memory, not misinterpreted, but like misshown. I don't think
Hollywoodized.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's just for ease of storytelling. They like wash his face off there.
Yeah.
And so the first thing he sees is Jesus and not this pool. But then it continues. So I'll start reading on verse 8. His neighbors and those who had seen him before as a beggar said, "Isn't this the one who used to sit begging?" Some said, "He's the one." Others were saying, "No, but he looks like him." He kept saying, "I'm the one." So they asked him, Then how were your eyes opened? He answered, the man called Jesus made mud, spread it on my eyes, and told me, go to Siloam, right? Siloam? Go to Siloam and wash. So when I went and washed, I received my sight. Where is he? They asked. I don't know, he said. They brought the man who used to be blind to the Pharisees. The day
hold
that
on.
Jesus...
Let's stop there before we talk about taking him to the Pharisees, because I want to
Okay.
talk about the neighbors. You had some questions about it, so.
Yeah, so I was confused because, like I said, when, Hollywood depicts someone being blind, they've got a piece of cloth tied over their eyes are wide open, like whatever. But like the man still looks like the man. The only thing that's different is maybe the cloth is gone, which, you know what? It makes me think the cloth was never there because he put the mud on his eyes. So the only difference is the eyeballs are now working. So I was just like, how do you not recognize him? He looks exactly the same. It's just that his eyes are working.
Yeah, I have a few thoughts about it. Do you have any answers to your own questions? Like, do you have any thoughts of how?
Now that you bring up the dirt thing, maybe he didn't have eyes to begin with. And now he does have eyes.
Yeah. Could you imagine sunken hollow places in their face? That would be scary. Nobody would want to. Yeah.
Okay,
it's a possibility.
that does make sense, because then I could see where having eyes now, where you previously did not have eyes, like eyes never formed.
Or if they did, they were smaller, and maybe his eye sockets weren't full. Where
but
ours
I
are
feel
full.
like if it was deformed like that would be included. That like he put the mud in his eye sockets, not like over his eyes. So that makes me think there were eyes there. They just maybe weren't working. I don't know.
But even still, when you think about your kids sleeping and they have their eyes closed, they do look different than when their eyes are open. The difference for me, personal opinion, the difference for me is when your eyes are closed and you're asleep, or even if you're sitting still, or, your eyes project life. So when somebody looks you directly in the eyes and they just stare at you, like in your eyes, it can get really uncomfortable because you feel like they're just looking into you. And it's also where you can see joy or hurt or anger or frustration written in their eyes, in people's eyes. They're so expressive. And so for all this time, they haven't had that. And now there's this man who says he was that man, but could it be that man because we've never seen him? Kind of like the guy we were talking about a few weeks ago who got healed, it was the woman at the well. Why did everybody follow her back out when she was alone and nobody wanted to have anything to do with her? What was different about her then that made people want to follow her? So what was different about this man now that they didn't even recognize him?
I mean, when he's blind, I just kind of picture him sitting on the side of the road, kind of like crumpled over in a little ball. Like he's hunched, but the posture becomes very different when you're able to walk upright and move with a purpose.
Yeah, I mean, if he has been this way his whole life, and we don't know exactly how old he is, but we know he's an adult, he has been rejected his entire life. He's never been accepted in or a part of anything. And why would they recognize him? Maybe they didn't even notice him before. Except for, like you said, that crumpled ball. Could this be that same one who was out there? I mean, maybe he's wearing the same clothes. I don't know.
Well, they keep saying, they're arguing. Isn't this him? Yeah, that's him. No, that's not him. And it says he kept saying, I'm the one. So they're arguing. I kind of picture it. They're arguing amongst themselves on who he is, what his identity is. And he's like saying over and over, it's me, guys, it's me. And nobody hears him because they're so busy arguing amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're talking over him.
Yeah.
And then they asked how your eyes opened. And I was like, eyes opened, like meaning sight. Maybe they couldn't open. Like maybe, what if the reason he was born blind is maybe his eyelids, like he had eyes. So yeah, what if it was he had eyes, but his eyelids were sealed shut?
Could be.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where like for whatever reason, maybe the muscles didn't work to raise his eyelids, and so he couldn't look around. His eyes worked the entire time, he just couldn't use them.
And I mean, I guess it's a possibility. You can still see light and dark and shadows through eyelids, though.
I mean, there are different levels of blindness, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. But whatever the case was, the neighbors didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure it out. At this point, that's where we're at is these are just regular old people. And they're like, wait, is this him? I don't know. When I teach about this, I use this chapter about giving your testimony. And this is his first opportunity to actually walk amongst the people and be seen. And they're still not talking to him. And he's saying, hey guys, it's me. It is me. I'm telling you, will you listen to me? I'm trying to tell you the truth.
And so they finally ask him in verse 10, then how were your eyes open? So they finally acknowledge him. And he says it was Jesus. He made mud, spread it on my eyes, told me to go to Siloam and wash. So I washed.
Okay. But he says, the man called Jesus.
Yes.
He doesn't know who he is. He just knows he's some man, and they referred to him as Jesus, which was just a name.
Yeah. I mean, and that's true because he went to the pool and washed. With my point earlier, he didn't see Jesus.
The
first thing he saw was whatever this pool looked like.
Yep.
Which is where I go back to, there's obviously got to be more conversation being had where maybe the disciples are like, Jesus, what are you doing? Why are you spitting on the ground? But like, that's not put in the book. So he heard his name.
Yep.
He knows his name. And he doesn't say the rabbi Jesus. He says the man.
He's just a man, just some man. That's all he knows. And that's his very first testimony, his very first sharing of the incident that happened. He's just, I don't know, some man. This is what happened. He spit on the ground. He put mud on my face, told me to go wash. I went and washed, and now I can see. That's all I can tell you.
And they ask him, where is he? And he does not know.
And he doesn't. And he's being truthful in that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. And then so continuing, unless there's...
Nope.
Okay. So continuing, they brought the man who used to be blind to the Pharisees. The day that Jesus made the mud and opened his eyes was a Sabbath. Then the Pharisees asked him again how he received his sight. He put mud on my eyes, he told them. I washed and I can see. Some of the Pharisees said, this man is not from God because he doesn't keep the Sabbath. But others were saying, how can a sinful man perform such signs? And there was a division amongst them. Again, they asked the blind man, what do you say about him since he opened his eyes? He's a prophet, he said. The Jews did not believe this about him, that he was blind and received sight, until they summoned the parents of the one who had received his sight.
Okay, let's stop there.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, let's stop there because this is a whole, we got to talk this section too.
Yes. So these I'm assuming common folk.
Yeah,
neighbors,
the neighbors.
They take him to the Pharisees. And I was just like, why? Why did you take him to the Pharisees? Why can't you just be happy for this man that he's now able to be part of society? Why do you have to take him to the Pharisees and be like, I'm assuming they were like, this happened on the Sabbath, witchcraft or whatever. Like, why can't you just be like, good for you, bro. Happy for you.
Yeah. So a couple of things. First of all, healing has happened. And so they know of healing. But healing happens to people who had their sight, it was gone, and now they see again. They walked, they got injured, they're healed, and they can walk again. It does not happen to people who have never seen before ever. That does not happen in their time. So this has to be supernatural because it literally, it doesn't happen. Nobody gets healed from an ailment that they had since they were born. And if that is what this is, we need to know. Well, who's going to know if this is supernatural and this is from God, but the Pharisees?
Okay. Never mind. That makes sense. I'm stupid. Ignore me.
No, you're not stupid.
So,
Okay,
of
but
course,
yes, go ahead.
Of course, my man Jesus, real good at making everybody angry, does it on the Sabbath.
And I feel like John just like throws the grenade, right? He's like, the neighbors brought the Pharisees to the man who had formerly been blind. And by the way, it was a Sabbath when Jesus did all this.
See, and I'm sitting here like, okay, Jesus, dude, are you sitting around the fire just like chit-chatting all 6 days of the week, except for the one day you're not supposed to be doing any of this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
At this point, you're doing it on purpose.
He is doing it on purpose.
But like,
he is.
Come on.
Yeah.
So he does it on the Sabbath. And then the Pharisees ask the man again how he received his sight. And he tells them, again, he put mud on my eyes. I'd washed and I can see. And the Pharisees are like, well, he's breaking the Sabbath, so he can't be a godly person. So it can't be a sign from God, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How can a sinful man perform such signs? And there was division amongst them. So it seems like some of them are actually like, no, like someone that is not from God would not be able to do this. It's never happened before, like you said.
That's what you're teaching us in the temple. That's what they've been taught. And now that we're seeing this. This just happened. We know that this guy was blind, had never been able to see a day in his life, and now he can see. And this can only happen by God. That's what you're teaching us. Because remember, they don't have like the Torah where they could sit at home and, ruminate over it. They only get what's taught to them. And so
the printing press had not been invented yet.
Yeah.
So they only get what the Pharisees tell them, the teachers tell them. They can't read unless they're like rich. You can't afford to have your own book at home.
Yeah. So they're saying, but you've taught us this. So that doesn't make any sense either, because a sinner would not be able to do this miraculous work.
Right.
And yes, it was on the Sabbath, but it still had to be from God. So we still have to figure this out. And then the other piece of it too is look at where the man has come. He said, the first time he said it, when he's talking to his neighbors, he said, this man called Jesus.
Right.
And now we're on verse 17, and he said,
he's a prophet.
He's a prophet. So he is, not only has he received physical vision, he's beginning to have a spiritual transformation at the same time as he's giving his testimony over and over.
Yeah, kind of like it's almost like he's ruminating on it. He's been thinking about it over however long this time frame is from where he washed to then the neighbors see him, and then now he's in front of the Pharisees, and let's just say it's like 4 hours. We'll just pretend it's 4 hours of time, make up a number. And over that time, he's had time to kind of think about it. And like the only conclusion he can come to is he must be a prophet.
Yeah.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been like hundreds of years since they've had a prophet. Why is prophet the go-to? Why would he think that he must be a prophet and not I don't know, some other title? Are there other titles for the important people?
Well, so here we go. My opinion, right? Whatever it's worth. He could be a leader, he could be a teacher, he could be all these things, but if he has the ability to heal, then that is from God. And those who receive messages or abilities or who are given the Holy Spirit are prophets. That's the only ones. That's what they're labeled or called, are prophets. So in his mind, he's trying to reconcile as well. And he's saying, well, I mean, I get he has to be a prophet. What else could he be? It doesn't make any sense to be anything else.
Did other prophets were they given healing abilities?
Yes. Oh. Yeah. In the Old Testament, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so yeah, he says he's a prophet, and the Jews did not believe him they didn't believe him.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't believe that he was blind, and he received his sight until they summoned his parents.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, parents, come here. Was he actually blind? Actually, I don't even know if I read that yet.
No, we haven't. But I do want to tell you, though, before you go on, because you were talking about the Sabbath, and one of the questions that you had written down was, how is making mud breaking the law?
Yeah.
And so I have on my notes, I have a few things listed. So it wasn't a life or death matter. So he could have healed on any other day. So so that's one of the things was like, you know, you can, if it's a life or death matter, okay, that could be okayed in the law, but anything else needed weight. So this could have waited. The act of making the mud was considered kneading, like you would knead dough. And kneading was among 39 classes of work not allowed on the Sabbath.
Were these 39 classes of work produced by Pharisees or by God?
Pharisees. Because they defined, like it will say work, but then they went further and defined what that meant. And then some believe a third thing, some believe it came later, but that it was forbidden to anoint eyes on the Sabbath. Maybe not. I don't know. That's just, like I said, some believe that was a thing, and some believe that was another thing they came up with later. So I don't know, but that was just another possibility.
Okay. Well, so let me back up a little bit and read verse 18. The Jews did not believe this about him, that he was blind and received sight, until they summoned the parents of the one who had received his sight. They asked him, "Is this your son, the one you say was born blind? How then does he now see?" "We know this is our son and that he was born blind," his parents answered, "but we do not know how he sees, and we don't know who opened his eyes. Ask him. He's of age. He will speak for himself." His parents said these things because they were afraid of the Jews, since the Jews had already agreed that if anyone confessed him as the Messiah, he would be banned from the synagogue. This is why his parents said, "He is of age. Ask him." And, bro, these parents make me mad.
I have some sympathies for the parents, but go ahead.
Yes. But, okay, so they didn't believe him. They bring the parents in. The parents come, and they verify, like, yes, this is our child. He was born blind. We don't know how it happened, which makes me think, like, this all happened very quickly. This chain of events.
Yeah.
It all happens very quickly. And we don't know how it happens. We don't know who did it. Ask him. He's old enough. And obviously we're in the United States, and age of being an adult is 18. So we don't know, is he 18? Is he 29? Is he 42? Like, we don't know.
Is he 13?
Oh, that was one of the things, is what is of age for them?
Yeah, I mean, isn't there bar mitzvah at like 12? And then they're
I'm
considered
not Jewish. I don't know.
I mean, let me Google this, but I mean, I think a bar mitzvah or a bar mitzvah is for boys. So is a Jewish coming of age ritual, making when a child becomes a full member of the religious community and personally responsible for Jewish law, typically at age 13 for boys.
But this calls him a man. And I'm sorry, I don't view a 13-year-old as a man.
Well, okay. That's because that's where society and culture have brought us to.
Okay, fair
because if you think back to, let's say the 1700s or the 1800s, you know, we didn't have, teenager is a newer concept, construct in society. So when you were able to work the fields, You would go work the fields, and then you would often get a plot of land, maybe from your family, and that would be your portion, and you would work to then build a house. And you're a teenager, you're 15, working this. So it was very common then that by 16, you're getting married. Getting married, having kids, that was very normal.
Yeah.
And so you're a man at this point. So at this, they're saying this is the age, 13. He's now accountable for himself. He is accountable for religious laws. He's no longer falls under like his father's house.
But see,
He makes his own decisions.
This is where I start to get irritated, because he's out there. We're assuming he's sitting on the side of the road, up against a building, up against a fence, whatever.
Somewhere. Yeah.
He's sitting somewhere out in the open. He's completely blind. Boy, where are your parents?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if my child was blind, like, unless he had a wife to help take care of him, I don't think I would be like, just go figure it out, bro. Go sit on the corner.
Yeah.
It feels to me a little bit abandonish.
Yes.
But
But
maybe
as a
it's
society,
not. But
as a culture, they were supposed to take care of each other. They were supposed to care for the women and the children and the disabled. And that should have been something typical in society of, it's now no longer his parents' responsibility, it's the responsibility of the community. And, if things were the way God had wanted them to be, he wouldn't have to be begging, because they would have been freely giving. They would have been freely caring for him, and they didn't. So at this point in time, his parents have lived with the shame. Let's just say let's give him an age. Let's say 18, because that's our age, right, of accountability. Or you become a legal adult. So he's 18, let's say. For 18 years, they have been wearing the shame of sin because their child was born with an ailment. So they had to have sinned. It's out there. Everybody can see it. They sinned somehow. We don't know. But there it is.
Well, that's what everyone's thinking. But yeah.
Yeah. And they're wearing that because that's what everybody thinks. That has to be true. And so for 18 years, this is how they've lived. And now he's on his own. And we no longer fall under that condemnation of our obvious sin, whatever it might be that they had been wearing for so long.
And I mean, I can feel a little bit of grace for that. I can understand.
So now they're like, okay, we're free of this. It's now the community. We as Jewish people should be taking care of him. They should be taking care of him. And now they're coming to question them. And if they answer the wrong way, they can be, what's the word? Kind of cast out, excommunicated again. Because
banned.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they say, we don't know who did it. Ask him. He's of age. Like, he'll take responsibility for whatever this is. He's old enough. And it says in verse 22, his parents said these things because they were afraid of the Jews, since the Jews had already agreed that if anyone confessed him, and it just says him, not Jesus, just says him as Messiah, he would be banned from the synagogue. This is why his parents said, he's of age, ask him. And I just was like, I wrote down when I was reading this, I was like, okay, they would prefer him get kicked out of synagogue than them. It almost felt a little sacrificial, like, just ask him.
Yeah.
Not my problem. And maybe I'm not reading it correctly. It's hard when you just have black and white in front of you. You don't see the way that they answered this stuff.
Yeah,
you can't. If they're joyful that he can now see, like,
there's no inflection there.
Yeah.
And so, and we don't know. They don't know either. They don't know what's going on. And they're afraid to answer the wrong way. We're finally accepted in community. We're finally accepted amongst the people. We're finally not the outcasts. And now you're questioning us. And if we answer this the wrong way, we can be outcasts again.
Right.
Is that where we want to go back to? But yet they don't want to lose, their son.
Uh-huh.
So it's deflect, like you said. So we're going to deflect. We're going to give this back to him because, and to be fair, we're going to assume they weren't there. They don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, so continuing, it says in verse 24, so a second time they summoned the man who had been blind and told him, "Give glory to God. We know that this man is a sinner." He answered, "Whether or not he is a sinner, I don't know. One thing I do know, I was blind and now I can see." And then they asked him, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" "I already told you," he said, "and you didn't listen. Why do you want to hear it again? You don't want to become his disciples too, do you?" They ridiculed him. "You're that man's disciple, but we're Moses' disciples. We know that God has spoken to Moses, but this man, we don't know where he's from." And so, yeah, verse 24, I was just like, it must have been God somehow, but it wasn't this man. It's like, it has to be an act of God, but it wasn't Jesus who did it.
Yeah. They're saying, don't focus on this man. You need to praise God, not this man.
Yeah.
And so this man responds, whether he is a sinner, because they said, well, this man's a sinner. Whether he's a sinner, I don't know. The one thing I do know, that I was blind and now I see.
Yeah.
And they said to him,
the famous line that everybody knows.
Yes.
I once was blind, but now I see.
And so what did he do to you? Whatever. And he's like, I've told you this and you would not listen. So here is where we go from the physical blindness to spiritual blindness, because he's now pointing out their blindness to them. Their spiritual blindness, and saying, you're not listening. You're choosing to harden your own heart to what's happening here. Why do you want to hear this again? Do you want to be his disciple? So he has gone from calling Jesus, then a prophet, and now he's like, and I'm going to be one of his disciples. I'm going to follow him. Do you want to join him and be one of his disciples? I mean, that's kind of what I'm inferring into this. And then, they reviled him. You are his disciple, but we are disciples of Moses. So whatever. And then the man answered, and this is my interpretation, is that the man begins now, he's going to teach the Pharisees lessons from their own book. So he's never been allowed into the synagogue because he was imperfect. He had this ailment. But he could hear things sitting outside. And he says, why is this an amazing thing? You do not know where he comes from, and yet he opened my eyes. And then it says in verse 31, we, and we're going to assume this we means all Jewish people, know that God does not listen to sinners. So this is what they've been teaching in the synagogue, what these Pharisees have been teaching. God does not listen to sinners. But if anyone is a worshiper of God and does his will, God listens to him. Never since the world began has it been heard that anyone opened the eyes of a man born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. And so he's taking what they've been teaching and he's flipped it on its head and given it back to him. There you go, he says. And they're like, and you were born in utter sin, and would you teach us? How dare you try to tell us? We already know.
Right. You're going over stuff we haven't read yet.
I know. It's just kind of all together, okay?
Right. So let me go back and read it.
Okay.
So, yeah, we stopped, I think, on verse 28, 29. They ridiculed him. You're that man's disciple, but we're Moses' disciples. We know that God has spoken to Moses, but this man, we don't know where he's from. This is an amazing thing, the man told them. You don't know where he is from, yet he opened my eyes. We know that God doesn't listen to sinners, but if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he listens to him. Throughout history, no one has ever heard of someone opening the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not from God, he wouldn't be able to do anything. You were born entirely in sin, they replied, and you are trying to teach us? Then they threw him out. Jesus heard that they had thrown the man out, and when he found him, he asked, do you believe in the Son of Man?
Who is he, sir, that I may believe in him? He asked. Jesus answered, You have seen him. In fact, he is the one speaking with you. I believe, Lord, he said, and he worshipped him. So yeah, from verse 30 to 33, the previously blind man is schooling the Pharisees, and then the Pharisees, they like to play victim.
Yeah.
And I was curious with verse 35, okay, Jesus heard that they had thrown the man out, and when he found him, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much later this was. Was he standing outside and he could hear it through the window? Or did someone come tell him, hey, this happened, and he goes to find him?
I just imagine that it's small town gossip.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, did you hear what happened? Oh, did you see that? Oh, my goodness. My friend, they were there, and this guy did this. And then the Pharisees, they said this to him. And then they did that, and they told him to get out.
Right.
And that this was going around. And then it says Jesus heard. So just, how did he hear? I don't know. Did somebody come to him and say, hey, Jesus, that guy that you healed that was sitting there? They've just thrown him out of the temple.
Right.
They've cast him out, so he can't have anything to do with Jews anymore.
Right. And then, as far as we know, instead of being like, I'm so sorry they threw you out, conversation, whatever, blah, 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 he asks, do you believe in the Son of Man? That's what he asks him.
Yeah. But keep in mind, he still doesn't know who this is.
That's true.
He still has never seen him.
That's true. I didn't think about that this is just a random person walking up to him. But you know what? If his hearing is enhanced, how does he not recognize his voice?
He might recognize his voice, but that doesn't mean he knows that he's the one who spit. Doesn't mean that he knows he's the one who made the mud and put it on his face. It just means that, he was there and present, and he might recognize that. So when Jesus asked him, do you believe in the Son of Man? He could have very well gone, and here he is right now, and points to the guy next to him.
Right. So he asks him, do you believe in the Son of Man? And the previously blind man, I'm going to call him Joe.
Okay.
Joe.
Okay.
Joe, the blind man, responds, who is he, sir, that I may believe in him? So he's willing to believe in whoever healed him. And Jesus goes, you have seen him. In fact, he is the one speaking to you. It's me. It's me. And you're like, you couldn't just say that? How are you doing since I healed you, Joe? Oh, I'm pretty good, except I got kicked out of the temple. Oh, man, that sucks. Okay.
That may have been the conversation if they'd had it, yesterday.
It is me. He is the one speaking with you. Why are we talking in third person? Right? Is that it? Third person? Anyway, I'm assuming you can hear that.
I can hear, yeah.
If y'all can hear my children screaming in the background, I'm sorry, it's rest time. And my husband's putting them down for rest. Apparently, he doesn't want to rest.
Well, you said plural, but I think it's only the little one.
And you never know. It's probably only the little one who happens to be screaming at the moment. But
yeah.
If y'all can hear that, I'm so sorry. Hopefully the mic doesn't pick it up. Anyway, so the last verse that we went over was verse 38. I believe, Lord, he said, and he worshipped him. I was wondering, what does that look like? He worshipped him. Is he falling on his face and crying into the dirt? Thank you. Is he singing a song? Is he thank you, God, thank you, God? What is he doing? What does worship look like?
But when you look at the progression in this chapter of this man, it is such an example of watching the progression of believers and when they come to know Christ, because they're like, okay, this man named Jesus, and I'm learning about this man named Jesus. And then, oh, he's a good guy named Jesus or whatever. And this man goes on to say, he's a prophet. So he's coming into it a little bit more, and he's growing in that. And then he gets to this point and is like, what does he say? Do you believe in the Son of Man? And Joe is like, who is it? And he's like, it's me. I am him. And
can I just say I got real confused. I was like, who's Joe?
The one you just
I already forgot. That's how quickly my brain just like forgets. It's like, who's Joe?
So he goes from whoever this person is named Jesus to, yes, I am going to be his disciple.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see this progression. And it's through this process of talking about what happened to him, giving his testimony, and talking about how Jesus has impacted his life. And that, to me, when I teach about this, is very impactful in the importance of sharing the things that happen, that God makes himself evident to us in our lives in ways. And even in other people's lives, just sharing the things that happen in other people's lives. Like, it's such an encouragement, and it builds our faith. And that's what this man has done.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a miraculous event. Jesus healed him. And now he's like, I just want to follow you. And whatever, his praise and worship of Jesus was, it was wonderful. It was beautiful.
Right. Right. So it says, where was I?
We've finished up verse 38.
Verse
39.
Right. Okay, so 39. Jesus said, I came into this world for judgment, in order that those who do not see will see, and those who do see will become blind. Some of the Pharisees who were with him heard these things and asked him, we aren't blind too, are we? If you were blind, Jesus told them, you wouldn't have sin. But now that you say, we see, your sin remains. Then that was it.
Yep.
I left that sentence off like I was going to say something else because I was continuing to read, but then that was it. That was the end of that chapter.
Yeah.
Oops. And I go back. Okay, 39. What are you judging people or not? Because I feel like every other chapter, it's like, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to judge. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to, like, make up your mind.
And this, so what I have written, I'm just going to read to you my notes, because so what I have written is, Jesus freely admits that he comes for judgment, and this is not the same as condemnation. So when we see, so condemnation is everything and all encompassing. Okay, so for instance, I'm going to give you an example. When a building is condemned, it's not just a section of it. It's like the whole building. There's something wrong with it, right? And it is uninhabitable for whatever reason. Sometimes you look at a building that's condemned and you're just like, how? It looks fine. But what you don't know is there's black mold all inside, and there's no way to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way that it can be inhabited.
Mm-hmm.
It's done. It has to be condemned. Now, judgment is the willingness to put up. So you go in and you look at it, and judgment allows for mercy and grace. So if you have judgment, it's the willingness to be able to do the work. So in this idea of construction, right, it's the willingness to put up braces necessary to hold things in place while repairs are being made. It's providing an opportunity for new life. So I need Jesus to show me areas where I need work, because I can't see them all, because I am blind in my own ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I need for Jesus to show me where I am falling short. And he does that through grace and his mercy and his kindness and his lovingness. And so in all that, like, we can, in my notes, I've said, he wants to peel back old wallpaper, repair broken and busted foundation, and install his joists that will hold us together. and he's showing us our need for him
Mm-hmm.
when he comes in and makes the repairs. And if you don't allow that to happen, then you are condemned.
Mm. That was good. Good job.
Thanks.
You can tell you've preached that before. But no, that was very helpful. I don't remember if you taught that at
I
the
didn't.
class.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
No, that was good. So he came into this world for judgment. So he came in to help people, in order that those who do not see will see, and those who do see will become blind.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood the first part of that. Those who do not see will see. Those who do not know me will come to know me.
Mm-hmm.
And those who do see will become blind. I'm assuming he's talking about the Pharisees, and that, like, you see me, you see all the works I'm doing, yet you don't believe, so, like, now you're blind to it.
Mm-hmm. And it's because, it's that their hearts have been so hardened. They can see, the truth is right in front of them. They could see it, but they're so hardened to it, they can't see it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yours says sin, and mine says guilt. If you were blind, you would have no guilt. But now that you say we see, your guilt remains.
Yeah, so it says, let me just read it again. Verse 39, Jesus said, I came into this world for judgment, in order that those who do not see will see, and those who do see will become blind. Some of the Pharisees who were with him heard these things and asked him, we aren't blind too, are we? Verse 41, if you were blind, Jesus told them, you wouldn't have sin, but now that you say we see, your sin remains.
So when you keep that, okay, so it's that idea of like, if you don't know it's a sin, how can you have guilt for it?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to feel bad because I don't understand on my own necessarily that what I'm doing is wrong. But when I begin to understand what sin is, then I'm going to have guilt. And I think of guilt as like the feeling, but also I have a consequence for my action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now no longer innocent. I'm guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say I see it, or I continue in this, even though I know truth, your guilt is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it requires repentance.
And you won't do it.
And you're not going to do it.
Right.
So are you blind? Well, yeah, but it's a choice that you're making. And, so daily life application, right? We all have blind spots. We're all blind in some way because we can't know all the things. We can try. And, that's why we read our word and we search for God and we want to grow in that closeness and that relationship. And there are some things that we're oblivious to.
Mm-hmm.
And it is through that time and that growing and being in community with other believers that God reveals these things to us where we mess up. And it's at that point where we can continue to walk in the blindness, but you're not truly blind. You know it. And now the guilt is there, like guilty as there is now a point of accountability, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It feels like there should be more to this conversation, but the chapter just ends.
Abruptly ends.
It does, and then it moves on to chapter 10, something. I don't know if this is like a continuation of this conversation. I would think it's not because it's a new chapter, but...
Yeah. There is so much in chapter 9. Like I said, whenever I talk about it, I have taught it in the aspect of this man giving his testimony and how that changes things. But there's so much in so many different viewpoints, because we could talk about the neighbors and what was going on with them and their points of view and the rights and the wrongs and where they were. And we could talk about the Pharisees, and then we could look at Jesus and how he handled it. And man, we could just spend weeks on this one chapter. But it's probably true about all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like every single week when we record, I'm like, all right, we just gotta keep moving. We just gotta keep going. Keep talking, talk faster. And
Yeah.
yeah,
But I do enjoy this one. I do enjoy
it's a good one.
the process. I love seeing that, but I love seeing people come to know Christ.
Hmm.
And you see that in this man as he comes to find who Jesus is.
He honestly kind of comes across as one of the people that like believes the easiest.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't argue. You never, I mean, and he could have. We don't know. But you never see him argue or deny him the way the woman at the well was like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
What you gonna do?" You don't see this with the man at the Bethesda pool or Bethsaida pool, whatever it was, that had been lame for 38 years or whatever, where he's like, "No one will help me." Like he doesn't argue at all. He's just like healed, and then the growth happens over, well, just like 24 hours or whatever time frame it was very quick, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like it goes from, I have no idea what happened, to you are Messiah
Mm-hmm.
very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was interesting, that how little he fought against it. And again, we don't know, but like it seems like he doesn't fight it at all. He's just like, this happened and this has got to be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas everybody else almost seems to kind of like obviously he's working through it, but not in a there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that with everyone else, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you also see when he is healed, he goes to his people, his neighbors. I call them the nosy neighbors,
Mhm.
but they're just normal people because it would be any one of us.
Mhm.
So he goes to the neighbors. He goes back to all the people who's never been able to be a part of, and like, can I be a part of you now? Look at me, I can see. Is that him? Is that really him? And he's like, it's me. Let me be a part. Let me be a part. And then he begins to see them in a different light.
Mhm.
Not only can he really see them physically, but now he sees a different side of them, because I'm sure, just like all of us, we just all want to belong.
Mhm.
And he's like, now I can finally belong because I'm whole.
And they
then,
don't really want to accept him.
Yeah. And they're questioning him, and who is he? And is this for sure? And who is this man? And how do we know? And then by the end, you see, he's like, those aren't the people I want to be a part of. That's
Right.
not what I want to
Well,
be.
that's deep too. Oh my gosh. I feel like you finally get what you want and then realize, oh, what I wanted isn't actually what I need.
Yeah.
Stop convicting me. Gosh. You do this every time.
It's just so good, though. I mean, when
It's a
you
good
get
chapter.
to just peel all the layers back and you can look at all the different, there's his word is alive and active. And when you just the beauty of looking at it in all the different directions, and there's still more. Like I said, we could look at it from the viewpoint of Jesus. Why didn't Jesus hang around? Why didn't Jesus tell him who he was? Why didn't Jesus walk him? Why did he make him go by himself? Why
I
didn't
had all those thoughts. I just didn't voice them.
I mean, so there's just so much that we could talk about. But, I hope that as a new believer, somebody who's following along, maybe reading through this, or even if you've been a believer for a while and you're reading through this, that it gives you a different vantage point and you can go back and really look at it and go, okay, what is it in my life that parallels to this? Because I could pick out things in my life that I could go, yep, that's where I have been blind. Or even if I'm still, Lord, show me my blindness, because I don't want to be that Pharisee with my heart so hardened. That's probably a good place to stop.
Yeah. It's a nice little hard nugget to chew on for people. For me.
So good.
I'm over here like, oh gosh.
But this was the sixth sixth sign.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, we talked about, remember at the beginning we talked about there's 7 signs and there's 7 I am statements, and this was the 6th one.
Oh, I missed that.
Healing the man born blind.
Interesting.
So,
what were the other ones?
so
remember.
the first one was changing water into wine, and that's
Yes.
John chapter 2,
Mhm.
1 through 11. Healing the royal official's son, and that was John chapter 4, verses 46 through 54. Healing the paralyzed man at the pool of Bethsaida in Jerusalem, and that was John chapter 5, 1 through 15. Feeding the 5,000, John chapter 6, 5 through 14, I think. It's hard to read my scribbles. Walking on water, John chapter 6, verses 16 through 21. And then this one, healing the blind man, John chapter 9, verses 1 through 7.
See, that's crazy. You're going back and reading all of this stuff, and I'm like, I completely forgot about all of that again. Because there's so much information chapter to chapter.
Yeah.
And that's where I go back to. This is why, just another reason why I wanted to do this particular book again. Because we could sit here and study the book of John over and over and over again and never talk about a different book of the Bible throughout the entirety of however long this podcast goes and still pick up new things.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy.
And it's interesting because we've had this, we're at 6, right? So like I said, this was the 6th one. We have one more that's going to happen. That's a couple chapters away. Then we've only had 2 I am statements at this point.
Yep. The I am the bread and I am the light.
Yes. So that I am the bread of life, which is John chapter 6, verse 35. And I am the light of the world. Excuse me, John chapter 8, verse 12. Those are the only 2 I am statements. So we have a lot of I ams. So Jesus is showing at this point who he is through his actions. So we've seen that a lot in this beginning half because we're almost at the halfway point. So he's showing you all these things. And he's told us 2 little things. I am the bread of life. I am, the bread of life, and I am the light of the world. He said those 2 things about who he is. But right now it's just about, I'm showing you. I'm showing you. I'm showing you.
Right. That's true. Well, next week we'll cover chapter 10. My Bible titles it The Good Shepherd and Oneness with the Father. And it's 42 verses. So that'll be another one episode chapter. And then I think that's where I'm going to shove in our guest.
Woo-woo.
As after chapter 10.
Yay.
And then we will probably be taking a break from the podcast for at least a month or 2.
Yeah.
So, sorry everyone about that. If you're listening a year from now, I'm not sorry. There'll probably be more episodes out by then. But if you're listening as they come out, we're going to take a pause. We have about a month left. A little over a month left until, well, actually a month from today. My husband, oh, that's crazy. It's a Friday. It'll be a Friday then too. Wild. A month from today, my husband will be finishing up his course here on this wonderful Army base. And then we'll be skedoodling down to Universal and to Disney. And then we're moving. So we're going to take a month or 2 off. Because then y'all move too, like really quickly after we do.
Yep.
So it's going to be kind of a chaotic time. So if you're like, where have all the episodes been? Oh,
yeah,
we're busy.
Hopefully, when we can pick it back up, we can also pick up a big like social media presence and like, hey, we're back. And
yeah, it's and this is one of those things where like I want to keep going. I want to, get the word out there. And like our wonderful PWOC president said something the other day at a meeting, and it was like, anything you do for the glory of God, like there's no way it's bad.
Yeah, it doesn't return void.
Yes. And in that, I didn't say anything to her about it, but I was like, thank you, PWOC president, for that. Thank you for that, because like That's what I've been feeling with this. I feel like I talk about it every week, but I'm like, I want people to listen. I don't expect for this to ever blow up and get any monetization out of it. I just want the word to get out there and people to hear, and like other people to come to some form of understanding of their own. And, you know, is all of the extra time and effort that this podcast takes, is it worth it? And she said that, and I was like, another moment of conviction. Yes, it is. But regardless, my family has to move across the country.
Yes.
So for my mental sanity and sake, we'll take a break for a couple of weeks or a couple months, and hopefully before summer starts, we can maybe pick back up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll see. You know, we make our plans, the Lord guides our steps.
Yeah.
And the Army does their own thing.
I was going to say, there's only so much. Like, we move, and then within like a month or two, my husband is set to deploy, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm hoping the podcast will be a nice distraction from his absence, but I don't know how long it's going to take us to get settled and then him immediately leave, and the havoc that it will wreak on our children's lives. So, who knows?
Yeah.
But point being, we'll be gone for a while after our guest episode, which will be in like 2 weeks. And so once that happens, just know that eventually we will be back. And that's your motivation to press the subscribe button so that you get a notification when we are back in a couple months.
Yep.
Because
we might have to do a We're Back episode. How has life changed?
Yeah. But eventually we will get through the book of John. It might take another year, but eventually it will happen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we always have such a long Southern goodbye.
That's right.
So, on that note, we'll see y'all next week to cover chapter 10 in the Gospel of John. And we're going to be talking about sheep. Maybe I can find a good sheep noise.
Oh, good luck with that.
Bye.
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 Oh, my.